So yes, so people don't know, I kind of look at QANX on a weekly basis. I do Friday updates. QANX is a quantum resistant blockchain in development. It's been in development for a few years. According to this chart, it's been in development for a good part of 4 years. The Quan platform is the site to look for, and on the X page it says Quan platform. So if you're interested in QANX and Quan platform, then just go to their X page, have a look. Quantum resistance layer 1 blockchain. Why is that important? Because quantum chip computing is being invested in by the masses. Hello, altcoin dreaming. Hi. Nice to see you. It's been a long time. Long time. I've just looked at Bitcoin. Do you want me to go back? So yeah, it's quantum resistant layer 1. They foresee a future where quantum chips are going to break layer 1s and Bitcoin and ETH and the rest, and therefore they're developing and building according to this, a quantum resistant layer 1 hybrid. So this is a real world project. They have some real world partnerships. I think you just have to do your own research. None of this is financial advice. And the big news from last week was that the QANXlink was successfully passed an audit. That's a big deal. But what I deduced from that post on X was that the mainnet is delayed simply because that they said preparations advanced for testnet version 2 launch. They haven't even launched the testnet version 2. I think with a testnet version 2 you expect it to be tested for at least a few weeks, maybe a month at least, just to make sure that everything is working and there are no problems. And so but that will be the final stage. So we are kind of getting to the final stage of what could be a mega mainnet launch. But in my stream last week I talked about the delay. No one's told me this. I don't work for Quan platform. it's just entertainment really, and that's why I put that's why I put QANX update mainnet delay confirmed. I just kind of deduced that, and then I kind of, if you look at my video, I say, well, I look at the Elliott waves. If you're interested, go back to last week and have a look. I look at the Elliott waves. I say, okay, well, we've put in a lower low, so we're probably looking at a massive consolidation of the initial pump, which was the buyback from the bridge hack, and any kind of impulsive wave here was invalidated just because we put in a lower low there. So that changes everything. And here I was talking about the possibility of going down further. And I'm not trying to influence people's decisions, but last week when I was streaming, it was much higher than where we are. So it has gone down. There was no kind of up. It was like, I think people were kind of a bit fed up or whatever, a bit frustrated, and they were like, okay, so we're putting in lower lows now. There's no buyback. The mainnet's been delayed. Let me just kind of scale out. Maybe they scaled it out to Tether or to Bitcoin or whatever, and maybe they'll scale back in. Volume is really important. So just with anything, I'm just looking across this whole range, the volume is pretty steady. It's pretty low. And I think ultimately what happens in the future is once you see the crazy injection of volume, everyone's going to jump in again. And the thing about a low liquidity token like this is that by the time you see that, the price could be right up there. One big massive green god candle, and then what do? Do you end up buying 200% higher? Maybe yes, because you're just catching the run, aren't you? If people are only interested in catching the run, then effectively what you have to do is you have to wait for this to bottom and show signs of bottoming, or you have to wait for the first impulse, the first big impulse. And at the moment, as you can see, we've invalidated this impulsive move there. completely. That was a 5-wave move. It's invalidated. We've taken out the lows. I told you that last week. It's been invalidated. And so the whole thing is just some kind of accumulation, or that's not working. Don't know why. Snapshot. You sent me a snapshot. It's not working. Altcoin Dreaming sent me something, but it's not working at the moment. Some kind of correction, effectively. And then what I was talking about last week, maybe, who knows? Like, who knows? No one really knows. I've come to learn that no one actually knows anything, and it's just all for fun. Yeah, so I don't take myself seriously. I bring some eyes to QANX. That helps everyone and gives them a little bit of peace of mind and confidence, but that's all it really does. Sometimes I've been right, and so that's fun. It's fun when you're right. I'm just now thinking to myself, probably, if there is anything going on, it's probably going to be something like some kind of expanded flat. I don't know. I can't even remember what I was saying. Maybe an expanded flat. I don't know how that works out now. I was looking at it last week. Was it there? Was it to the? Maybe to the. Like a real expanded flat. Altcoin Dreaming, your link isn't working. Sorry. Oh, okay. Glitches. Let me open my Discord then, because it's closed at the moment. If you're interested, come and join our Discord, yeah? And I'm starting to get active again. I'm going to get back into... I've had a crazy year, guys. I have a story to tell one day in the future when I'm ready to tell it. I'm going to tell you one of the craziest stories ever of my life. Not yet, but I'm kind of going to get back into trading again and go back to BTC trading. In the meantime, come into our Discord. The link is below the video. It's basically, I mean, it says Amir's Candle 3, but basically it's me and Altcoin Dreaming. We're crypto friends, and he posts a lot of good stuff. Come in there. You can talk about QANX. You can stress about QANX. You can stress about you can come and curse me if you want. No, you can join the line. You can join the queue. Curse me about D-Travel. And there's some good information there if you want to learn to trade. There's some tools and stuff. There's some learning zone, useful images. We've kind of got a collection of really useful stuff, and channels to look at where you can actually learn to trade. Yeah, but it's education, isn't it? It's all education. None of it's financial advice. And I used to post charts recently just because I'm not trading, but when we are trading, Altcoin Dreaming has been posting some stuff recently. I saw that in the crypto channel. He's trading BTC and ETH, as you can see, and he's explaining everything. So if you're interested, come in there. There's no fees. It's free. It's fun. If anyone by the name of Amir, i.e. me, or Altcoin Dreaming messages you, then it's probably a spam bot or a hacker or something. So just let us know and we'll kick ban them. But at the moment, you're welcome to join. Everyone is welcome to. It's good chat. Have a good chit chat. And so he's posted something. Let me have a look at that. BCH. BCH. Well, I'll have a look at that when I come back to BCH. Okay. So let's just go back to, let me just go back to QANX and the Quan platform. What is there to do here? I don't really know if there's anything you can do here. Do you sell? Do you buy? What do you do? Do you wait? I think it's a hard one, but I'm not here to give advice, but you can't do anything but wait, can you? I was just squiggling on the QANX chart. Let me just hide that. Have to be patient. Yeah, and it's a hard one with these illiquid tokens, because you're patient, you feel it's bearish, but you're patient because you're higher time frame bullish, but the price is already down 33%, and no one wants to sell, but at the same time people are selling. You can see it, and then that kind of puts everyone on the back foot. Is this bull market over? Yeah, it's possible. It all depends upon Bitcoin and whether we put in a right shoulder and put in a lower high on the next move to the upside. There will be a move to the upside on Bitcoin for sure. For sure. And that might be the last chance saloon for a lot of these tokens, for people to get out with a little bit of profit or break even if they're underwater. So complacency is a danger. Don't get complacent just because you feel that this is going to be the most expensive token in the world and the quantum computer threat is coming and everything is bullish. Don't be complacent, yeah? Because the reality is, as I did in my Bitcoin analysis earlier on, and go back to Bitcoin, yeah? We're still underneath, we might be forming an accumulation schematic here. We're still underneath this outer trend line. But the reality is, even if we do kind of form an accumulation schematic here, or spring or whatever, we're looking at a really ugly head and shoulders pattern here. Yeah. And that's, once that forms, that right shoulder, once you get a rejection, that's going to scare the market like crazy. It will scare everyone. And once everyone is scared, people will sell. They will dump without hesitation. So you can't be complacent. Now, like I've said in my Bitcoin analysis, go and have a look at my Bitcoin analysis. There's always a chance of a fake out off the neckline, and then you're back into bullish. Huh? If that was to happen, that would be an invalidated head and shoulders, because you've broken, but you've actually got back into the neckline, and then it becomes super bullish. But until that happens, it's really bearish. Huh? Once you see a lower high, lower lows, becomes really bearish. And then everyone will be thinking, especially with the timings, if it's March, April, May, people will be thinking, that's it, Bitcoin is dead, it's over. The next time there, people will be thinking to accumulate, Bitcoin will be here, and then unfortunately you have to be out of your altcoins. You have no choice. It doesn't matter how strong the altcoin is. The quantum narrative is a 5-year narrative, 10-year narrative. We're not there yet. And so when you go back to, obviously this is just one idea. Anything can happen. You know, you could always get a higher high and a V-shape. Because yeah, you can get lots of different things. It's just one idea. But this is what's presenting the market. This is what's being presented to the market by the charts at the moment. And so when you're looking at QANX and you're thinking, yeah, QANX is going to go to the moon. Yeah, I'm bullish on QANX too. But I tell you what, I'd rather buy this token at the bear market low and accumulate with a higher time frame view that quantum computing is going to break all layer ones and this is the next big thing, than sit on a token hopium and watch it crash. I've learned my lessons. And I'm not going to, but that's how you learn, is it? You learn that I'm not involved in this project, so I have no idea what's happening. But the reality is they've had plenty of time to do something great. And if they don't time it right, then we might not see this next big wave. Or you might see a wave 3 that just takes us. You could see something like that. Whatever. It's not likely, but it's possible. You know, you could see another. I mean, it would be a big move from wherever this bottomed out, 500%, and everyone will be like, ah, yeah, this is bullish. We're going to the moon now. This is it. This is it. Get ready. But all it might do is just go from the bottom of the range, which is the value area low, to the top of the range, which is the value area high. That might be it. with a back test of pivot 1 of the top of 1, which is there, for another test of the value area high. And that's it. And that's your bull market. And actually that's a correct move, because you're looking at your wave 1 there, some crazy correction, and a wave 3 and a wave 5, and none of the rules are broken. The rules are all intact, the Elliott Wave rules. Or, depending on how they launch the mainnet, and the timing is really important too. And the thing is, right now I've got it coming just to take out these lows and maybe coming into this area. We don't know how far this 2 can go. This 2 can go quite low. Yeah. Now, I don't think it's just going to go down in a straight line, but what if it goes down to there? In terms of Elliott Wave theory, it can go to the beginning of the impulse. Now, based on this impulse, I'm just estimating it's probably somewhere there. Even though I can see a little green candle, I think it's probably there, because there's a gap. Just ignoring the gap. And so this, as long as it doesn't go back into the and put a lower low, put in a higher low, for reasons that I can't explain, you could see this drop. It's possible. Another 77% before you get your big move, your big wave 3, which would take us maybe in that circumstance, it could just take us back to, yeah, it would have to take us all the way up to there, because the wave 5 the wave 4 can't come underneath the top of the wave 1, and that's basically what you'd be thinking about. And you get your big move, but it's a 1,600% move, but it's from down here, not from where we're at now. And so you have to have a higher time frame strategy for accumulation, and then you have to have a higher time frame strategy for taking profit, and that's it. Or just be higher time frame, like super higher time frame, think long term, think 10 years, and gamble and just keep on buying. You'll end up with the average. Yeah, whatever the average is, you'll end up with the average, assuming the project doesn't fail. Whatever you do, if you just accumulate dollar cost average, time weighted average price over a higher time frame period, hypothetically, let's just say a monthly period. So let's say every month you're buying $1,000. You'll end up with the average. So right now, if you were doing that, and if you bought that low as well, because that's the problem, it drops and people don't buy the crazy dips. But let's just say you were buying all these months. You're buying all these months. You'd probably be on average roughly where we are now. Yeah, probably. You would have plenty of time to take profit, and then when the price goes down, you have to still keep on averaging in, and that's how dollar cost averaging works, because over the range of the token you end up with the average. Okay, now with a sideways ranging token like this, you probably end up somewhere in the middle with an average price. It's nice when you're trending up, okay, because then the price always goes away from you and you're always in profit, but that rarely happens these days. So that's QANX. I think if you want to just go back to last week's video, you'll probably see my analysis on what I think. I think probably at the moment the next target is the value area low. I'll kind of just pull that up again. We've taken out these lows, we've lost these lows. Look at that, we've lost these lows, we've lost them. That's the next low there. And then you've got this value area low, and even the value area low is an arbitrary level. It could go a bit lower. Could go much lower, or a bit lower rather. Or Coin Dreamer was saying, I hate it when you use log, but and a token like this, when from the low to the high it's 3000%, you have to use log, huh? You have no choice. Let's use regular for a bit. Change that to regular. I mean, it's no help really, is it? Can I buy TRVL? Of course you can. You can do what you want. You can run outside naked if you want. Of course you can. No one's stopping you. I've turned my social stream off because it keeps on double texting. I don't know why. It's so annoying. Yeah, I still think on this one I prefer log. So yeah, that's why I've got that white line. Probably the golden pocket on the log scale. It would bring us back into this little bit here, which I think makes sense to come back into this little bit here, this little area here. It'd be the value area low of this little range, golden pocket. And if we don't see any reaction from this pivot low here, then it's another 34% down. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I have no idea. But look, we are seeing a pretty nasty sell-off, aren't we? We are, aren't we? That's a sell-off. Yeah. And the last time we had a nasty sell-off here from these highs, it took a while to turn around. It didn't just turn, it didn't just kind of bounce, did it? It took a while. How many weeks did that take? And so we might be in a similar situation where you kind of have to wait for the first buying to come in. See that? The first buying, the low was taken and it still made another low. And that was a sell-off. Look at that sell-off. And it still took like 4 or 5 weeks to settle down before it went up. And this was in better conditions. The conditions of the market were different. And so for safety's sake, I always look at these outer trend lines and say these are the safe bets. If you're looking for safety, like if you just want to get in when it's safe, just draw like one of these. Let's draw all of them. No. Probably that one. It's messy, but probably something like that. Probably there. See that? Just wait for that trend line to break. And that will give you ample time to just wait for safety to start buying back. Because that trend line has to break for the price to go up. And you can always get a situation when the price goes up and it rejects and it goes right back down. Yeah. And ultimately what you want to see a break. You want to see some kind of back test, and then you want to see a new high. And once you see that kind of structure, you get a market structure change, trend lines are broken, you're seeing strength, then what you'll actually end up doing, you start accumulating on the way up rather than trying to catch the absolute bottom. The reality is no one knows the bottom. No one can predict the bottom. Yeah, I just know that you have an arbitrary value area low level at around 0.014, and then much lower down, I prefer lower down, is 0.0115, which is the golden pocket area, and that lines up with this previous little range here and a value area low there. And I kind of prefer that area than just catching it like there. And the only thing that I think would change my mind if you're trying to catch a low is a nice swing failure of this pivot here, this pivot low. So once you take out that pivot, like that, yeah, you've got a long trade there with an invalidation, and then you could go up to pump up to touch that trend line to come back down again, you know. So there's a trade, it's a trade, but it doesn't indicate strength. It just indicates a good place to long, assuming you get a swing failure or reaction. And then it doesn't mean the price is turned, it just means that traders people have stopped selling, people have started buying. But then actually when the price goes up, and in that situation, if it did that, it would move up 30-40%. People would start taking profit aggressively again, and then people who are a little bit trapped, they'll be looking to sell these lows here, wouldn't they? So you actually have confluence for selling if the price does manage to do this and go back up and to backtest that trend line, backtest that SR flip for another move to the downside. Got to be aware of this. The mainnet is delayed. It's just a fact. I'm just looking at the X page. Unfortunately, I was right. In this circumstance, I was right. And they haven't posted anything since the 12th of December. That's 7 days ago. That's basically last Friday. That was their last post. I saw this post, wasn't I? Or maybe I didn't. What time did they post that? 2 p.m. No, I didn't see this. What is it? Google and UK's UK National Quantum Computing Centre have announced a collaboration providing researchers access to Google's advanced Willow quantum processors through grants. Proposals are due. Like, I mean, it's just kind of like good. It's good information and it's all quantum based, but it just tells you that things are slow, huh? We're not seeing like I want to see 100 qubits process, bam, you know, 100,000, 10,000, 100,000. I want to see 1,000,000. I want to see we've made advances and we've just created the first 1,000,000 qubit processor. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see we're accepting grants and they're due by the 31st of January and we can do a bit of networking to use our 4,000 qubit processor. That's not what I want to see. I want to see mega bullish news that quantum computing is literally about to become big. And at the moment, it's just like food for thought for the future. And the main thing was that they still need to launch their testnet version 2. That the preparations, no news since the 1st of December. Yeah. So it's a bit sad. And it's Christmas time and everyone's on holiday and vacation and these people are probably having their Christmas turkey or whatever. So that's quantum platform, quant platform, QANX. As I said before in my streams, like I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news. I want people to be safe. I want people to use the right strategies. Most people should only use dollar cost average. They should only do it on a time weighted average price. They should only risk value that they're willing to lose. Disposable income, coffee income, value that you're willing to spend on coffee, you can spend it. And then for the most part, don't look at the charts. Have a real long-term strategy for accumulation. Don't look at, if you're looking at the charts, you look at me. If you're a higher time frame person, you're looking at QANX for a long time, and you should be looking at this as an opportunity to accumulate more at lower prices, but you have to be patient, and the patience could be a year, could be 2 years, who knows. Yeah, you have to be patient. And the risk is that, like I said, we drop much further, go all the way down to here, basically, to put a higher low here. There's a risk, huh? It's possible. Assuming the project doesn't fail. And I don't think it's going to fail because they've got some of the biggest backers in the market. And you just have to be prepared for that. And to be prepared for that, you have to be willing to accumulate the dips. Alright, so that's QANX. If you like this video, please like it, share it, make a comment. GTeep says this one is also heading 99% down. Possibly. Alright. Lo and behold,